Hello, my name is Pete Cannon.
Hiya, I'm Mixtress.
We're here today to talk about 5 of our favourite records, so let's do that.
Let's jump into it.
This is the first one I'm going to talk about today. This is Tango Project 1, the original on F Project. RIP to the legend that is Tango. This was one of the first tunes I ever heard on this tape right here, which was my first ever rave tape, which is Easy Groove Obsession West Point in 1992. I got that tape at school. My mate Raving Reedy lent it to me. We used to listen to it on the bus. You have the headphones down the sleeve in class listening to the rave. One of the first tunes I heard on it was that tune there. Absolutely blew fucking mind when I heard it. I thought he was playing it all live and it was by Easy Groove. So he had like the keyboard and he was playing the drums. He was doing it all himself. I was like, this Easy Groove guy, he's fucking phenomenal. And I remember going into like an independent record shop in Blackpool called BPM Records and asking them for the Easy Groove record, to which she explained that he was actually playing records and it wasn't just one record. And I was like, oh my God, what's this called? She's like, this is called DJing. I was like, oh right, I think I get it. I've been on a hunt since then, 1993, to get every track on this tape, and thank God for Discogs and things like that, being able to actually find them out. But that original Tango one on F Project, which is Vision of Formation Records up in Leicester, DJSS's label, it's just phenomenal. It's made on an old sampler called Cheetah SX16. It's quite rare, but it sounds really rough, really rugged. Drums in it just hit every time. It's just got that hardcore aesthetic that's just rough. Have a listen to it if you've never heard it. There's also a 1994 remix, which is a bit more jungly, proper hardcore. RIP to the legend that is Tango. Over to you, what have you got?
Okay, so I think the first thing I'm gonna pick out here, absolute classic. This is not very visually appealing. I'm terrible at having the original paper for any of the records I have because I'm an organizational mess. However, Naughty Naughty 5, Naughty Naughty was a remix series. Oh, back when they used to like remix like popular songs and stuff, they don't do that anymore. We definitely didn't do that. We did not do that. Naughty Naughty 5 is a remix of Awesome 3's Don't Go from Excel Records. This and this entire remix series was awesome. This is a banger. I actually got this as a birthday present because throughout uni I wanted to buy this record for ages, and again, broke uni student, so I couldn't. But I'd like refresh Discogs to see if anyone was selling a copy, and for years I couldn't get one. And on my, I think it was my 21st birthday, which was super sweet. So that's probably number 1 for me.
Back to it, okay. This record here, Underworld, King of Snake, and it would be the Dave Clark remix. Snake! Absolutely banging right to your head techno. Dave Clark killing the remix. Love everything Underworld have done pretty much, but this, I remember hearing it on Dave Clark's Essential Mix 2000. If you've never heard that, go and check it. Just cutting up records, juggling, scratching, basically just giving it beans. This copy, he's got 2 copies of it on the Essential Mix and he juggles them up and just cuts it through. So I remember hearing it and being absolutely blown away again, going, what is he doing? Hard hitting techno with a break. I think we need to do more techno with breaks. There you go. Techno with breaks. Shout to Dave Clark, shout to Underworld. If you've never heard it, go and have a listen. Am I going to say that at the end of every single one? I don't know.
Yeah. Right, is it my turn?
It's your turn.
Okay.
It's your turn.
Okay, let's go. So I'm gonna go with this song. Has the waspiest wasp party noise of all time that ever was. 31 Records, Kings of the Rollers EP Volume 1, the Seaside Digital Deadline Ed Rush and Optical remix. So good. I listened to a lot of drum and bass growing up. This is one of the tunes that one of the first times I heard a song at a rave, and I was like, oh, I need to find this, and I didn't really know where to look because Amsterdam's got a big drum and bass scene, but it wasn't that big at the time, and so I didn't really know who to ask. And this record's like fairly old as well, relatively old for the fact that I was like 15. It was just really catchy, and I remember finding it finally, and it took me like probably like a year to find it, but it was like the most satisfying feeling ever. Like, iconic drum and bass track. I've heard it too many times to super like it anymore, but have to respect it. But yeah, Kings of the Rollers EP, come on. Ooh.
This one, bit of a curveball maybe, something a little bit different. This is an album by Caretaker. I actually got this off a friend of mine who was just getting rid of a load of records. Shout out to Ed Scissortongue. He just brought them around the house and was like, I need to get rid of these. And I just saw this cover and I didn't know what it was. It's like, wow, that looks well interesting. So I had a little listen, and it's basically an existential crisis in audio. It's a project where Caretaker actually samples loads of old 78s, and they usually play at quite quick speeds, 78 rotations a minute, and he plays them at like 33, samples them and makes loops out of them, and it just sounds like music in the cantina in Star Wars. I've just never heard anything like it, and I just love it's the idea of the project, just digging for sound that's already there but noticing it in a completely different way, building it into an album. Very special bit. Again, go check it out. I'm not going to throw this one.
I like rushed and grabbed only dance music records. I would have segued and probably put my Stereo Lab record or something like that, because I love Stereo Lab and all the other like sexy dainty French music. But for this we just have ominous drum and bass. So for my next ominous drum and bass record, Lucky Devil Recordings, awesome label, Saber. He makes really evil music, and it's all really like weird and ominous and half-timey. This one is absolutely fucking sick. I picked it up in Bristol, which is one of my favorite cities to go get records, because I feel like there's just so many record shops and they'll have new stuff every time I go. I used to go to Idle Hands quite a lot. R.I.P. to Idle Hands. Idle Hands has been moved because of gentrification. But I went to a couple kind of on the outskirts of Bristol. I went to this place. They had loads of the like future retro in stock, and I was like, oh, I should go in here. But they had some like cool grime dub plates as well. And then I found the big drum and bass bin where it had lots of cheap drum and bass records that were cheap and awesome. So I went through that and I found this, which I actually heard in a Dot Spot mix years ago, and I needed to have it, so.
Let's go for this one. This is pretty terrible. All right, this one's called Hit the Decks Volume 2. I used to have this on cassette when I was a kid, and it is a selection of mixes from Mega Bass and the Two Little Boys Mega Mix. Which is a group of DJs who were basically
a boy band
looking cool like that, if you can see that. This is like one of the first mixes I heard even before this, and I was just wondering how they put all the music together. All the early rave stuff from M-Dem.
Wait, so a whole mix on like one side of a record?
Yeah, look at it.
Whoa, that is dense.
Back in the day, it was an easy way for me to listen to a lot of early rave stuff, like Kicks Like a Mule, Sons of a Loop de Loop era, Asen, The House Crew, We Are Hardcore. It was an education for me, even though it's like a bit cheesy and that, but just look at those guys, look how cool they are.
Just dudes being blokes, being guys.
So there you go, Hit the Decks 2.
Inside.
Don't go and check it out.
Okay, I'm gonna have to. I took this one out just for honestly, for the jokes. I was originally going to try to get explicit. I was trying to find, but I didn't. But I found this instead, which is, I mean, kind of a winner itself. It's a remix record. First one is Ain't No Player featuring Foxy Brown. It's the Ganja Crew remix.
Mac in this trick, white people, so when you flip that dough, remember them days you was dead.
It was one of those ones. I was like going digging. I think it was a Flashback in Crouch End, and I found it, and I heard it the first time, and I put it back. I was like, oh, there's no way I'm buying this. And then I was like, oh, but it's ridiculous. And then I gave it another listen, and I was like, I need to buy this. This is so silly. And then the second side is Can't Knock the Hustle featuring Mary J. Blige's Desired State remix. Which is awesome. It's awesome. Oh, it's really silly. It's kind of just like jungly, drum and bassy, kind of like like 98 kind of stuff. And it's just like a bit farty, got lots of like waspy fart noises. But I just thought it was really fun, and I was like, oh, I've got to get it. It's only £4. It's a win.
A bargain.
Yeah, I just love it.
Shit, give us a sec.
Stress. I love that Metalhead's record. The cataloging system is meth.
Meth 001. Chromatic EP, 1993 hardcore. The track on this, You Got Me. Really incredible hands in the air piano business, and this is produced by NRG, who did Never Lost His Hardcore. This is under a different pseudonym called Liquid Crystal, and recently I got to remix it, get the plug-in on Nightforce Records. So this is one of my favourite tunes.
I really like the design on it.
Yeah,
that's really awesome.
This bit's a bit weird.
Oh, it's the uterus.
Intestines with a wow on it.
Gut functions are a wow. Humans are a miracle.
It was also amazing that Liquid Crystal, aka NRG, got to remix one of my tracks as well. So, produced that one on the Atari ST. Check out the video on the internet.
What I really want to talk about is jazz. So this is
Jazz.
Hang On, the remixes by Easy Rollers and DJ Addiction. I'm not sure why this bit is in Japanese, but it's quite mystical that it is. I didn't buy this from Discogs. I found this also in a record shop in Bristol. It's just got like 3 minutes of straight jazz. It's not even like, oh, look at this clever sample. They've just like yeeted it from a live jazz recording from quite a while ago. But yeah, this is a very good label that does very cool stuff. Moving Shadow. They are awesome. They do Overshadow now, which is also shadowy and awesome in jungle. And right at the end, there's like an applause, and the guy's like, wow, so this is what I call a good record session. And then it just like takes like a bit of the bass from like the jazzy bit in the beginning and just suddenly goes into this like quite nice, like jazzy, like groovy, like drum and bass track. It's just fantastic. It's very good. I played it in Boiler Room. I feel like it was the wrong time to play it. Boom, 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 boom. Anyways, I can't sing it. You will hear it. Great record. Very cool. Super trendy. On to you, Pete.
So yeah, maybe we need more jazzy drum and bass, more hip hop jungle.
That's a record.
Okay, this one, a white label of Dem 2 Destiny on Locked On Records. I remember hearing this track on a tape pack from like 97 maybe, when all the music was changing. There was a lot of heavy drum and bass. Hardcore had gone very happy, but also in the kind of tape packs, like the bigger tape packs, slamming vinyl ones, there was garage tapes. I think it was a Roy of the Roach tape from Bagley's or something like that. And one of the first tunes that I heard on there was Dem 2 Destiny, and it just had that Destiny vocal, which hooked me straight in. It was the segue for me getting into a bit of garage at that time, late 90s, all the special request stuff, all the Locked On stuff. Go and check Dem 2 Destiny out.
I was gonna actually chat about two. So I would say probably like the OG Antonio Hyperfunk. Is just such a banger. I didn't really get to listen to a lot of garage outside of maybe this before high school, because like garage wasn't really too much of a thing in the Netherlands. There were some mid-2000s garage for like Dutch rap over it, but like British garage didn't really enter the ears until I moved here. But when I did, there was a garage night at our really sweaty, stinky student union bar.
Nice.
Yeah, and I remember this song used to get played every week. Locked On Records is Antonio Hyperfunk. So that would be numero uno. The other one is extremely meta and super obvious, but this is great. This is awesome. Love it. Little did you know, we actually did a remix of one of the songs off this. Which is kind of crazy. I don't know whether you've heard it. We DJ'd it. We will DJ it. It might come out. This has been Locked On Signatures with Pete Cannon and Mixtress. Thank you for listening. Hope you've enjoyed. And yeah, hopefully catch you guys on the other side.
Cheers.